the shadows start to grow, and the places that you know seem like fantasy. There's a light inside your soul that's still shining in the cold, with the truth, the promise in our hearts. Don't forget, I'm with you in the dark.
Before Thomas, before Edward, even before Toby, back in 1865, there were two little engines on Sodor. Their names were Renes and Skarloey. Skarloey was built in Lancaster in 1864 of his brother Dolby. Renes was also built later on, but Skarloey was built first. One day, Skarloey's manager had told him he was going to a new place called Sodor because they needed engines to help with the slate mines. Skarloey was very thrilled with this and couldn't wait to get there. At the port, the men tried to lift him up with old-fashioned cranes, but it was very unuseful. Skarloey was hanging there for days. On the sixth day, a small little engine named Neil finally carried him to his railway. Neil was a boxcar type engine. It was one of the very first standard gauge engines on Sodor. Skarloey said Neil was very nice, but he hasn't seen him since. When Skarloey reached the yard, he saw trucks and horses everywhere. "All right," said the manager. "Time for you to get to work. Jump these trucks here and from the yard and back." He thought he was built to pull coaches and not trucks. "So I shan't pull trucks," said Skarloey pompously. He didn't know better back then. For days, the workmen tried to convince Skarloey to get to work, but Skarloey wouldn't budge. On the third day, the manager had enough. "If you won't work," said the manager, "we shall cover you up with sheets until you're ready to be useful." 1 week later, Skarloey was feeling very silly indeed. "Sir, I'll go and push trucks and coaches if you please take these things off." "Well, I am cross at you," said the manager. "You seem to feel guilty, and we do need engines. Men, get this wraps off this engine, and get him to work." By the time Skarloey got to work, his brother Renes had come. "What are you doing here?" said Skarloey. "The manager sent me here to help you out, brother," said Renes. Skarloey couldn't be more happier then. One day, he collected some coaches to pull his very first train. But the coaches warned him. "Don't be a broken bronco," the coaches warned. "You'll bump a man off the rails one day." I'm sorry to say they were right. Mr. Hugh, and the manager of Sodor at the time, was traveling in Skarloey's first train. But he peered his head out of the window. 1 minute he was in the coach, the next minute he disappeared. "Brakes, Scott, brakes!" Luckily, Mr. Hugh had landed headfirst in a bush. It wasn't badly hurt. When they reached back at the station, Mr. Hugh was very cross. "I want a word with Skarloey later tonight. Do you hear me?" Skarloey was very scared by this news. Later that night, Skarloey was waiting in the engine shed when Mr. Hugh and several other workmen came to see him. "This engine," Mr. Hugh firmly, "is exactly what we need. Get him a new coat of paint, driver. He'll be a permanent part on this island from now on." Although he couldn't be more happier. "Can my brother stay here too, sir?" said Skarloey. "We have no choice but of course," said Mr. Hugh. "Renes and Skarloey shall be permanent parts of the island of Sodor." And Skarloey went to bed happily that night. His journey had only just begun.